Hi folks, Slick Slices here. This is the last of the current batch of Taylor's Eyewitness Barlows that I have. I dare say there'll be more in the future. I'm always looking out for different ones, but it was finding different ones is always the difficult thing. And this one is different as another material that I've never seen done before by them or possibly by anybody else. Now, that's probably just my naivety and that they probably exist. But this one, a relatively soft action actually for a Taylor's Eyewitness. Relatively light stamping in the blade as well. But what really got me about this one is this wood. Now this is Palmwood, and it is very, very striking look. Very striking. It almost looks like a sort of peeling varnish on old wood, but it's not. It's perfectly smooth and reasonably hard. So I suspect it would be quite tough and hard wearing if you were to carry it. But I say it has this sort of look about it, which is, it's not ugly, but it's not necessarily the most beautiful look, but it's very, very striking. It kind of, you feel, you think that it's going to have a real texture, but it's actually very, very smooth. But I like it. I just took one look and said, I must have that one. If I don't have any others, I want that one. And I say it's unusual. I don't have another one. My collection is quite extensive. I've got about 18 or 20 different handle materials for these knives. And this is one I've not seen before. I don't know that it's got anything special to offer other than just being different, but it is very nice. And it's a beautiful knife, of course, beautifully well made. You've got the lovely file work on the back. They do some with and without file work, but I tend to buy the ones with file work. I've got 3 or 4 that don't have it, but most of them do. Goes up into the blade, which is nice. Beautiful polish on the blade. The smaller, more recent nail nicks on them. And of course it's the classic Barlow design of Obadiah Barlow, 1670. Though he's always credited with making the Barlow design, but there's very little actual evidence of what his Barlow design looked like. Whether it looked like this or whether it was something completely different, we'll probably never know. The Barlow is sort of seen, certainly out of Sheffield, as generally having clip point blade, but there are a lot of Barlows around that have spear points or sheep's foot blades. The larger, more reinforced bolster is the sort of the key to the Barlow knife, I think. But again, you get different ideas about what's a reinforced bolster. These are really quite long. I generally think of a bolster on a Barlow being 25 to 30% of the length of the handle, but other people just see it as a chunky bolster, which is just a little bit longer than normal. It's hard to be sure, and generally we have the kind of teardrop shaped blade that's much handle rather, which is rather wider at the butt here. But again, I don't know that there's any strong evidence that that's the shape. It's more just that the name seems to have hung in there. Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn each have Barlow knives at different points in their stories from Mark Twain, but he doesn't describe the knife. He just says it's a Barlow knife, and we're all expected to know what that means just from that description. But as I say, this is a very nice example of a modern, current Sheffield-made Barlow knife from one of the longer established, still independent companies Taylor's Eyewitness. It's, I think 1832 is the date they claim their origins from. Well, they've changed name a few times in that period. You know, Arthur Wright, for example, I think only been around since 1947. So, you know, 100 and odd years later, they were started up, 115 years later. So this is, you know, it has some evidence of being an established Sheffield knife maker, and they are still making beautiful knives today, and I will continue to collect them so long as they continue to do that. So if you like this, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see some more, and I have plenty more knives to show you, and I'll keep showing them, though this is the last Taylor's Eyewitness for just now. But if you want to see some of the other knives that are coming up, Sheffield knives and others, then please subscribe and remember to ring the notification bell if you want to get notified of when they're coming up. So thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.